Page 30, Blue Moon. Again, we continue working on sharps, flats, and naturals. This time we have sharps. A sharp raises the note, raises the pitch. So on the keyboard, it goes up one note or one key, white or black. In the first measure, we have you have a C and a G, and then that F. But it has that little hashtag thing in front of it, a pound sign, whatever, depending on your age is what you call it. It's called a sharp sign in music. It raises the note. So instead of an F, we're going to go up one key, white or black. That is an F sharp. So again, since the fourth finger is playing the F in the five finger position, we're going to use the fourth finger to play the F sharp. Usually in music, you'll get the natural or the sharp in the piece, not both. In Saturday Night, you had both. That was interesting. In this piece, you don't have both together next to each other. So it works out fine. The fourth finger can play the F sharp. Now in the second line, in the third measure over, those Fs, that's an F natural. There's no sharp sign in front of it. Okay? But now you got that E flat again. They're stuck in that flat in there. Isn't that fun? And again, since you're using third finger to play the E, you're going to use third finger to play the E flat. Okay? A general rule about accidentals. They apply from the point they appear in the measure for the rest of the measure, and that's it. Once you cross the bar line, once you go into another measure, they cancel out. They don't apply anymore. So, take a look at the second line in the first measure. Okay? We have a C, a G, and an F sharp. That sharp applies from that point on to the rest of the measure. It does not apply to the next measure. Now, they went ahead and put in a natural sign in front of that whole note F in the second measure of the second line. That was just a nicety. They didn't have to do that. It doesn't have to have a natural sign there. It's an F natural anyway, because of the rule. Once you cross the bar line, the sharp doesn't apply anymore. So even if that natural sign were not there, you would still play an F natural. And it's really important to understand that, because it'll throw you later on if you forget about it. So the first couple of measures of the second line, it's here. Yeah, sounds funky, but that's what's written. Well, I didn't write it, I just playing it. Second line, third measure over, you see the E flat. It's an F, E flat. The flat applies from that point in the measure to the rest of the measure. So any other E in that measure is going to be flatted, unless it has a natural sign in front of it. So we have an F, E flat, an F, and another E flat. So that last E in that measure is an E flat, because the first E flat, the flat carries over, okay? Then once you get to the last measure, the flat cancels out. There's no E in the measure, well, there is in the left hand. Because if that flat carried over like that, you'd have to play an E flat in the left hand. I mean, an E flat is an E flat is an E flat, okay? It's just, you know, so, but it cancels out, so it doesn't, so you're fine. About all I need to say, I think, about accidentals on this thing. I don't know. So let's take a look again. Before we start playing it, you want to look it all over and make sure you understand what's going on. All right? Got 4/4 time again. We've been over that. It's slowly, speed up on top. We're going slowly anyway, so hey, this is going to work out great. It's got an MF between it, so it's kind of a medium loud, moderately loud, whatever you want to do. You decide what that is. I don't see oh, they put the chord symbols for every other measure in there. Isn't that nice? For a second measure, the first line has got an F above the step, and then the fourth measure's got a C. It's just telling you the name of the chord that's being used there. So in the second measure, this whole thing, right and left hand both, that's an F chord. Or in the key of C, it's a 4 chord. Remember 4 chords? Well, in the last measure of the first line, it's got a C above. That's a chord is the C chord. So with both here and here, both hands together, it's a C chord. Now the left hand doesn't play for 2 beats later, it doesn't matter. The harmony-wise, you're hearing it all together. Makes it a C chord, okay? Now, it's not really a C chord just because you played an E. It's a C chord when the left hand comes in and adds some more notes to identify it as a chord. But if you have a guitar player or somebody who can play with you, this tells them what to play in those measures, okay? So they may not play on the measures where you're playing quarter notes. They would only play on the measures where the chords are marked. It could be fun too. Now if you're into improvising or want to get into improvising, what you do there is when they give you the chords, you play the melody. But as far as the left hand goes, you play what you want as long as it's in that chord, and you can experiment with it. Or mix them up or whatever. The notes on the chord is F-A-C. Just play an F-A-C. It could be most anywhere you want. Just stick with that chord and you can do about what you want. That's improvising. Don't do that until you learn it the way it's written. Learn it this way first. Get it exactly the way it's written first. Then if you want to make changes to it, have fun. Let's try this together. I'll give us 4 counts and we'll play it. So again, C position. Okay. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2.